We've got a sweep. It's not any old sweep. It was electric, so I'm not getting my broom out. I'm getting the vacuum out, baby. Let's go. Right now, we're recapping the 3-game sweep against the A's here on the Setup Man. Did I throw you off there, Alex? Did that just like really take you for a loop there?
The vacuum, yes. But I mean, it's fitting. That was a complete domination.
It was electric, man. It was electric. It was fun. Yeah. We're back. We have a winning record going to Wrigley Field. Before we get too deep into that, guys, I'm Kyle Stanley. This is Alex Brault. I guess over this way is Alex Brault. And you're listening to the Setup Man post-game show. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. Comment on this video. Like it. Heck, go ahead and while you're at it, since you're down near those buttons, hit that one that looks like an arrow. Share it. Put it on your social media, wherever you want to. Y'all in Central Time Zone should be getting home from work and just ready to engage with us, because that's exactly what we want you to do. We want you to jump into the waiting room. Alex is going to put the link in the comments right now. You get to come backstage. We're going to treat this just like old school sports talk radio. For those of you that have continued to jump in, you know exactly what we're talking about. For those of you that are new, we welcome you to come have conversations with us. And we're going to do that in the third segment. So right here, you can see Cubs win. We're going to go over one big moment. Then we're going to go over what we call sins and take callers in the third segment. So we already see some callers jumping into the backstage. We're going to get to you guys after our first couple here. So first of all, Alex, welcome back. Did you get your beauty sleep while you were gone? Ty nearly replaced you because he's like, I'll lose sleep to be on with Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, he's a rock star, so he can live that rock star lifestyle. I cannot. If I don't get my 8 hours, I am a bear. But
I'm
truth be told, I stayed up to about 10:30, which is still probably later than I should have Central Time, but it's okay. It was worth it.
Hey, anytime we can stay up for a Cubs win, I don't know about you. It always like jacks me up to whether they win or lose, and I'm not usually able to go to sleep right after that. So I would be sleep deprived too, Alex. Speaking of sleep deprived, I'm also, my voice is a little bit gone. I was screaming my head off at the game yesterday, and so I'm also sleep deprived and voice is gone a little bit. But again, all worth it. Recapping a few things here, Alex, as we head into Wrigley Field on Friday with a winning record. Thank the baseball gods. 18-3 final in the first game, 7-4 final in game 2, and 10-2 final today. And you got to love it, man. Busted out the bats, 35 runs, 41 hits. They did it with 8 home runs. This was a lot of fun. So before I share the box score, any thoughts just about this game, this series that stood out to you?
Other than the fact that the offense stayed hot, because the offense in Arizona was not the issue. It was the pitching.
Yeah.
But then the offense carrying that over to Sacramento, I'm still not used to saying that. Plus then the pitching bounced back. And we could talk about Tyone in a little bit. Same as Justin Steele. There was some battling there, grinding, but we have a couple moments that also we'll get to later that he really grinded and came out looking better than he did in Arizona. So all positive. So the vibes are great, which I love. And finally, we get to go back home to beautiful and historic Wrigley Field. I cannot wait.
I can't remember in my entire Cubs fandom, which is all of 27 years, I can't remember having to wait 9 games for a home game. Can you remember the last time that happened?
Not really. And in fact, I know last year they opened up in Texas, but the year before they opened up at Wrigley, I mean, the COVID year, if you want to count that. But yeah, it just feels like they haven't been home forever. And especially with San Diego, they are playing so well. We are playing so well. Oh, I cannot wait. Friday 120 is going to be absolutely electric. I cannot wait.
All right. Well, I can't wait either, but I would love to go over some of the stars of this game. We got the box score up here for you. Ian Happ, 2 for 6. Seiya Suzuki, 3 for 5. He was the true star, I would say, of today's game with 2 home runs, 5 ribbies, and I believe it was a 2-out RBI single a little bit later in the game. Kyle Tucker, hitless, and you still have a double-digit runs game. That feels good to say. Justin Turner had a knock. Dansby Swanson, 0 for 5, rough one for him today. Nico Horner, 1 for 4. Pete Crow Armstrong and Matt Shaw both went 2 for 4. They accounted for 3 runs and 3 RBIs total. And then Carson Kelly, 0 for 2, but he did have 2 walks as well. Jameson Taillon, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. We had, I believe it was 7 strikeouts, 3 walks in 6 innings, a little bit more than you're accustomed to from JMO, but he still looked strong. And the running game was out today. You can see down here at the bottom, Nico Horner had his first 2 steals of the year. Pete Crow Armstrong added his second, and so did Kyle Tucker. I love it. I don't think the Cubs have a caught stealing yet this year. They mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. I believe at that point it was like 8 for 8. So I think they're like 10 for 10 or 11 for 11, somewhere around there. It's really fun to watch. Just all around, man. I mean, this offense, before we kind of go play by play here, this is the kind of offense that carried the Cubs through those last 2 months of, 2023, when Cody Bellinger was really on fire. And now it feels like they never really hit that stride in 2024. It feels like they're starting with that stride already going back to Arizona.
For sure. And as much as us Cub fans don't want to acknowledge this, the Cubs played today how the Brewers usually do, at least under Craig Counsell. The running game was out. There was an Ian Happ hit and run with Nico Horner at one point. This reminded me so much of how Counsell managed in Milwaukee. And then to see it here and this season has not gone well for Counsell so far. I know, small sample, especially Sunday, but we're not going to relitigate that. But I really enjoyed watching today. The bases, you never knew. And the other thing, speaking of on the base pass, there were a couple moments today, and I don't know if you caught this, either Kyle or anyone watching. There was a point where Nico stole third base, but it was little things. He was timing him. He was picking up. Okay, it's a one look and gone. Just these little things that I haven't really noticed before, because the Cubs haven't really been what's the word I'm looking for? they don't run a whole lot. So now
they've been active.
Yeah, they're not. It's just kind of station to station, maybe take an extra base here or there, especially under the David Ross era. But I can't say enough. I'm over the moon, man. I'm just rambling at this point.
No, hey, rambling in a good way is a good thing. And you know what? Finally, Mr. MLB White Sox, who's always coming here talking crap about the Cubs, has nothing to say. So let's go. All right, on to what we're talking about now with the actual game. This one was pretty much over by the 4th inning. And I think the tone was set early on. A few different things before we get to our one big moment. In the 1st inning, even though the Cubs didn't score, Alex, they got the first 2 runners on, and it was high stress pitches for Springs, right? Jeffrey Springs. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to say Springer every time I say his name, but Springs. And they ran that pitch count up. So that kind of set the tone. And that's what I feel like the Cubs have been doing really well this year, is they're really diving deep into making these starting pitchers throw a lot of pitches early on. Top of the 2nd, Nico walks, steals the 2 bases in the same trip on the base paths. Shaw walks. So it's 1st and 3rd, and then Kelly gets down 0-2. You're kind of like, oh gosh, we really got to take advantage right here. And he still gets the sac fly in. That was huge, because later in the game, in that inning, you see Seiya with a long 3-run home run to make it 4-0. Bottom of the 2nd, JMO gets out of a little bit of a jam, bases loaded. And then top 3, Matt Shaw adds on to make it 5-0. Top 4, Dagger. Seiya 2nd home run, Nico and PCA with 2 out RBIs. And at that point, it was 8-2, and they never looked back. So one big thing before we go into this one big moment here, Alex, the bullpen. Got to give some love to the bullpen. And in its entirety, this series, game 1, 4 innings, no runs, no walks. Game 2, 2 1/3, no runs, 1 walk. Today, 3 innings, 2 walks, no runs. Still would like to see the walk count today down a little bit more, but no runs. That's the important thing, man. It was really great to see the bullpen get back on track.
Absolutely. And you were at the game yesterday, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I could not for the life of me find the Ryan Presley experience last night. So I don't know how that looked, but I know he got a double play to end it. But yeah, overall, it's just improvement, right? Mm-hmm. And I was trying to think back to the last couple of years of the bullpen. Even guys like Yency Almonte, they came in, you roll your eyes, like, oh God, here we go. And even before he got hurt, he was starting to kind of figure it out.
He was, yeah.
So there are a couple guys like that I kind of have my eye on. Brad Keller being one of them. Didn't look super duper sharp today, but looked a hell of a lot better than he did in his previous outing in Arizona. So and plus they need him to figure it out with his velocity. The Cubs bullpen doesn't really have that. Porter Hodge is down in velocity at the moment. Presley, we know, is declining. So they really need someone like Brad Keller to step up. So it was good to see him have a solid outing today. So yeah, the bullpen in general was better. And actually the pitching overall, I thought this series looked like the arrow was trending upward, which was something I really wanted to pay close attention to, because it's not like the A's are the 27 Yankees, but I mean, it's not a lineup full of scrubs. Brent Rooker owned them this series, and even still, It didn't matter.
Well, and to your point, I feel like aside from inning 1 and I believe inning 3 of Steele's outing, I never felt like anyone on the mound was kind of quote unquote letting momentum give up or out of control. It was just those 2 innings from Steele where you're like, oh boy, is this going to be like a 12-11 ball game tonight? And, he was able to settle in. So the only thing that I mentioned last night, the only thing that concerns me about Steele is that velocity right now. And you just hope that by the 4th or 5th outing, you're seeing 92 to 94. But that's another moment to talk about at another time. So let's get to our one big moment. And before we do, keep the comments coming. If you haven't already liked the video, like the video. If you haven't already subscribe to the Setup Man, and do us a favor and share this, because we still have another 20 minutes to go. We still want to see more people in the backstage. We've already got 2 or 3 back there. So we're looking forward to getting callers in and hearing what you have to say. So, Alex, you stole my one big moment. So I'm going to just go ahead and one up you. And instead of going to the bottom of the 4th, which is what you're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the top of the 4th. 5-2. And this was the thing that the Cubs did really, really well this series. And honestly, they did it well in Arizona in 3 out of the 4 games too. 2 out of the 4 games, I guess. But we ended up letting one of those get away. It was putting the dagger. It was not saying, hey, we got enough, 5-2, we're good. It was putting the dagger into it and saying, yes, let's just put this thing out of reach. In that top of the 4th inning, Seiya hits his second home run to make it 6-2. And then Nico and PCA with 2 2-out hits that score runs to make it 8-2. And at that point, it was smooth sailing from there. But there was a big moment in the bottom of the 4th. I'll let you talk about that one.
Yeah, so this was my one shining moment for the game. And this is coming off the 3rd inning where Rooker had taken Tyone deep, and it's like, oh boy, well, how's this going to go? Because we've seen it before with some of these pitchers as things start to snowball, and then it's just kind of out of whack. And even JD had mentioned early in the 3rd inning, like, it looks like he's overthrowing a little bit on the marquee broadcast. So he picked up on that, and then I was really trying to pay attention to that. But then after the homer, ground out, line out, ground out. So really hunkered down there in the 3rd. And then the 4th, again, things started to look like they were getting a little out of control. Wilson hit a single, but then he got Brown to strike out, another single. So it's like, oh, okay, 1 out, 2 guys on. How's this going to go? Strikeout. Thank you. We'll see you later. So I think even just for Tyone's sake, I think that is massive, even outside of this game, especially coming off just an abysmal performance in Arizona, to show up today in a minor league park. But it sounded like it was a loud crowd. They were super into it. And I mean, you can attest to that from last night. But I do think overall for Tyone, that was a massive moment, not just in this game, but for his season overall going forward. So that was definitely my turning point in the game, because once he got out of that, then it was really off to the races.
Yeah, I mean, if Rooker gets up there and just worst case scenario, which is a likely scenario with him, he hit 39 bombs last year, hits a home run with 2 outs. It's suddenly an 8-6 game, and now you feel like, oh boy, here come the wheels coming off. So that strikeout against Butler was huge. I totally agree. KJOG Live says, good to see Seiya connecting on the pitches with all of his strikeouts. That was concerning to me. And I think I want to go back to what I told you when we did some projections before the season started. Do you remember how many home runs I said I want to see from Seiya? And if he doesn't reach that, it's a failed season?
I believe you said 30.
It's 28, close,
28.
28.
Yeah.
I said I want to see at least 28 from Seiya this year. And you know what? After the first few games, man, I was like, oh boy, I think at this point I just want to see a 240 average. But now he's already got 4 bombs. We're 9 games into the season. If he's on track to hit, no, I'm not gonna go what he's on track to hit, but he's looking like he is potentially, and we're so used to seeing this up and down from Seiya, but man, if he can carry this into Wrigley, if he can just do this 1 or 2 weeks out of the year and then just be kind of smooth sailing in those other weeks, not out of the year, sorry, out of the month, just be a little bit more consistent in those other weeks, but just hit that hot streak 1 week out of each month. I think we're going to be seeing him flirting with a 900 OPS, and man, that's huge for Tucker too. Sam on Locked On made a really good point. The hotter that Tucker gets, the more important Seiya's at bats are. Of course, it was flipped today because of lefty on the mound, so Seiya was batting second and Tucker batting third, but most of the time when a righty is pitching, it's going to be Tucker and then Seiya. So if Seiya can continue to hit the way he's hitting, Tucker's going to get more pitches to see, and that's going to be a beautiful thing. I think of Bonds and Kent back in the day. It's not really going to be that, but you know what? That's the idea that I have right now. Anything else you want to say about Seiya?
And speaking of Sam Olver, he also tweeted during the game today that I thought it was a really good point. This was the vision. The symbiotic relationship between Seiya and Kyle Tucker. They can both feed off each other. They're both protecting each other because, as you said, it flip-flops depending on what handedness the pitcher is. So, I mean, we're seeing the vision. Now, is this going to keep up for, it might not even keep up for this weekend because San Diego is really, really good. But for the time being, you can just tell, there's definitely, he's protecting him or vice versa. And yeah, I mean, this, as Sam said, this is the vision. So if this continues, we are a rocket ship soaring across the sky for sure.
Yep, absolutely. There's 2 other things as we have a couple minutes before we start bringing callers in. I don't want to overlook. Number 1 is the Cubs with runners in scoring position coming into today, which went likely up, batting 256, the slash line 256, 366 on base, and a 461 slug this year. I mean, I don't know how much the slug and the on base is going to maintain, but the 256 is already 20 to 30 points higher than last year. We're a really small sample size, but I would love to see those numbers stay right there. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that aside from the fact that runners in scoring position has been the thorn in the Achilles heel, whatever you want to say there. That's been the issue with the Cubs offense the last couple of years. So if they can continue to hit with runners in scoring position, that's huge. Another thing I wanted to ask you, Alex, did you notice the increase of usage in the changeup from Jameson Taillon today?
I did. You had tweeted it, and actually I had made a note while I was watching the game, like, this changeup, he's using it more, but it looks good. It wasn't like he was just throwing it just to throw it for a different look. Like in the first inning, especially, he was really sharp in that first inning. There was a good amount of break on that changeup. I was like, this is new and exciting. So, and I mean, with all these pitchers, we've heard that they're adding changeups. Ben Brown was one of them. Justin Steele was working on one. So the fact that Taillon's throwing changeups and effective ones, I think just alters his ceiling in a good way. I think it raises his ceiling quite a bit, even raises his floor quite a bit, just to have, and I know Taillon's got more pitchers than Steele, but just to have another weapon in the arsenal, I think for all of our pitchers is a good thing. But Taillon, especially because we know he's our 3 or our 4. He's not the most consistent fella in the world, but I mean, if he looks like he did today, where it's a little bit of a battle, but I mean, he did give us 6 strong innings.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought his changeup use was effective. It wasn't just throwing it just for a different look.
Well, and in case you guys missed that, last year, Jameson Taillon in 28 starts threw 106 changeups overall, which comes out to be just under 4 changeups per game. He threw 3 in the first inning. He only ended up throwing 7 the entire game. But what I think that does to left-handed batters, Alex, is it puts that doubt in the back of their mind of like, that wasn't on the scouting report that he was going to throw me 2 in 1 at bat. He ended up throwing 2 to Lawrence Butler right off the bat, I believe, in the first at bat. And you kind of went, whoa. And I think just establishing that in the first batter was really big for Taillon, who's really struggled against lefties for a good part of his Cubs career. So Something to continue to track is really my point there. So we're going to get to callers. We're going to get to talking very briefly about sins, but we're going to do it right after we tell you how you can support our channel. Setup Nation, I want to take a quick break so that you know how you can support our channel and wear some cool swag like this. We've teamed up with Obvious Shirts to give you a chance to have your very own Setup Man shirt or hat. Pick from 3 different types of shirts or my personal favorite, the trucker hat. Go to the link in the description of this video and podcast to claim your Setup Man apparel. And thank you so much for supporting our channel. All right. It is that time. We are getting into callers. We got a few in the backstage here. Before we do, we tracked our quote unquote setup sins, which is just basically dumb mistakes that teams make throughout a game. I don't think we have to spend too much time on this one. The A's made 10, the Cubs made 6. The Cubs just hit the crap out of the ball and pitched the crap out of the ball today. Even if they made a few more mistakes, I think there would have been enough of a gap here to where we don't have to focus a whole lot on it. The only thing I think that would concern me, Alex, is Matt Shaw's 3rd error, and we're only 9 games in, and he didn't start one of those games. So 3 errors in 8 games is not my favorite to see.
Fair, and that's a fair point. I would just say, did you see what last year brought us? So it's even I just have more confidence he can make the routine play. Today he did have an error. It was a hard hit ball. He couldn't quite get a glove on it. It kicked off his heel, went straight up into the air. Okay, not great. But just I have more faith in him to make a routine play than I ever did Christopher Morel. Christopher Morel, I mean, the people behind first base in the stands had to wear hard hats. I mean, it just looked really ugly at times. So, yes, I'm with you. It doesn't look great all the time, but I think for the most part, he's just finding himself in general, even with the bat. And I was going to mention this earlier and forgot to get to it. He's taking more walks. This past series, he took more walks. He was working deeper counts. I think today he was down 1-2 or maybe it was 2-2, came back all the way and worked a walk. So while the contact hasn't been super hard, he's not going to light up any StatCast exit velocity. I do think him just making contact, he had 2 hits today. That's his first multi-career hit game or multi-hit career game. So, yeah, I think just in general, he's adjusting the big leagues. I'm not overly concerned. Now, if he starts throwing the ball over the yard, then we can talk. But for now, I'm all right with it.
All right, awesome. I want to show one comment before we start bringing callers in, and we do have that link in the comments on YouTube and on Twitter here. So please click on that link if you want to jump in and give us your thoughts or ask your questions. Steven, I would love for you to jump in, man, and tell us this in person because this is a fun topic. I'm loving seeing our batters actually give the umps cramp, but I know you meant crap, for their awful calls this season. Got way too many of those against us last season. Yeah, I mean, Ian Happ did it the other day. Dansby got pretty fiery today. 2 guys that you don't usually see do that. I just want them to teach Seiya a few words in English, like that maybe start with what the and end with a bleh. So,
agreed.
Let's just get him some English to like try to give back to the umpires. Alex, I'm excited. We got some people in the backstage. We got some regulars. Drum roll, please, Mr. Dave Leonard.
Hey guys,
what's up, man?
Well, I got to say something for the Cubs after that gut-wrenching loss on Sunday to come back and sweep. Granted, they're the Oakland, Sacramento, California, godforsaken A's, but to dominate the way they did over all 3 games says a lot about the makeup of this team. And I got to give hats off the council. 8th inning, he brings in Nate Pearson, and I just held my breath.
Same.
But even when it was 10-2?
Okay, well, we were up how many in Arizona on Sunday? Come on. So I got to give council credit. He gave both Pearson and Morgan the softest of softest landing pads he could to get them in and get them right, feeling good on that plane trip back.
It's huge. I mean, that's the confidence that brings, right?
Exactly. And, it's like Nate was, that first batter, he was like 2-0 and then credit to Carson Kelly, forced Nate to go slower speed, breaking ball, and he landed it for a strike. And after that, Nate was on.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All these pitchers, it seems like they just need something to lock them in. And once they're locked in, it's off to the races. But unfortunately, they can't get locked in right away, it seems.
Oh God, yeah. And Alex, I agree with you. Your comment on Matt Shaw. It's like this kid has got so much to deal with right now. He's he's made the jump to the show, and he's trying to figure out big league pitching on the fly, and he's literally playing a brand new position kind of on the fly. It's like I agree with you, Alex. It's so much better than the Christopher Morel experience. He's not making bad plays. He's learning the position on the job. And if I'm Counsell, I've got his locker position at Wrigley between Dansby and Justin Turner.
Done.
I like it.
So I'm happy. It's now we're going home. It's going to be cold. It's like, I don't know, is it going to be like 40 in Chicago on Friday when they play? It'll be interesting to see how the offense performs now that everyone's going to be freezing.
And chance of rain all weekend too.
Oh, great. Here we go. But no, so much better. I mean, Sunday night, I was like, just had the heart ripped out of me. And now today, it's to see them put up 18, 7, and 10.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
It was fun, man. Dave, thank you so much, brother. We appreciate you jumping in as always.
See you tomorrow night.
You have a good one, man. All right, let's go to another regular here. Jacob, what's up, man?
I'm back in the car for this one.
Let's talk in your car, brother.
But I got, first of all, great series win, obviously. Sweep them and move on, I guess. But like, there's two things I want to quickly touch on. First, it's kind of y'all have echoed already. With the relievers, it was just like I was kind of nervous. As soon as they took out Tyone, I'm like, oh God, here it comes. You
and Dave, you're like, no, I'm not comfortable with any lead, huh?
No, at this point, no. Like I love half of these relievers too. Nate Pearson, man, I've met him before. He's a great guy.
Nice.
And so I want to say that. Two, I'm just worried now that the Cubs are kind of wasted all their runs, and I'm scared for that. Obviously, having this much of an offensive outburst in 3 games, having a trip home, from a minor league stadium to now being in, 40-degree weather, it's a little disconcerting. And I just hopefully they are able to keep it up. It'll be also be small ball instead of launching 20 home runs in 2 games. But
well, I know how we work as fans, and we have those I would say scar tissue moments of, oh, they scored 14 and then the next day they only scored 2. But let me ask you a question. Would you rather the Cubs be going back to Wrigley after scoring 35 runs in a series, or let's say 8 runs in a series?
Right now, neither, because of the bullpen. Right. Rather see them still play the Athletics for 150 semi games left.
Well, hey, they're not going to face Dylan Cease this weekend. He's pitching today, or pitching today.
I think we're missing Michael King too.
Ooh,
yeah.
Sacramento and Springs are no slouches. Like they did this to really good pitchers. They chased Springs after 3, and he's really good.
Yeah, I was surprised about that.
They did a good job, and this is what April's all about: catching teams at hopefully the wrong time. Even though the Padres are 7-0. We'll talk about that one in a second here. But Jacob, thanks for always jumping on, man. We appreciate you, brother.
Of course. And then I got data for the next steal starting. Yeah.
You got data for it? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was going to talk about some data I found for steal yesterday, but my computer decided it didn't want to cooperate. But
rough. Well, hey, next time he's out, we can't wait to hear it, man.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you can't wait, but
thanks,
bye,
man.
everyone.
There you go.
All right. How about Eddie? What's up, Eddie?
What's up, boys? It's my birthday, and I get a little sweep as a birthday present. Let's go.
Do we sing happy birthday live? No.
You don't need to. I don't know about the licensing rules anymore on that. So, Yeah, no, great game. Was able to catch most of it working from home today. Here's the thing: everyone's talking about. We got the Padres, we've got the Dodgers, we've got the Rangers, and I think we end the month on the Diamondbacks.
Mhm.
Like, it's a rough month, and it is really hard to sweep a big league team. We'll take all the wins we can get because, hey, if we can get out of this month 500, a lot of people said, that's a great month for us against all these teams. Take every win you can get, and sweeping a big league team is hard no matter who they are. So, big win
No,
today.
Matt. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I mean, all good points. And we're going to talk about the Padres here in a second. But hey, happy birthday, man. And
Happy
thanks for
birthday.
taking some time to jump on here on your
Yeah,
birthday.
one more thing. I know you guys talked about Tyone's changeup. That is a combating lefty slug. If you look at his splits last year, dominated righties and had some trouble against lefties. His weapon there was a cutter most of the time into the lefties, getting something working off that away, down and away. I think could be a big weapon to help him do even better than he did last year.
I love it. I mean, I'm 100% on the same page. He needs something against lefties. And if he, just like what we talked about, if he just establishes it and just shows it early in the game,
Keep it in their
it's like,
head.
yeah, it's in the back of the head.
And
Cool.
they're doing the same thing with Ben Brown too. I mean, Ben Brown, we developed a changeup and he threw it on, what was that, Monday night? I mean, it wasn't super effective, but it's, hey, you have another, what's the weapon in the arsenal? I was trying to think of what the arrow in the quiver. I don't know what it is. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, Browns
In the
might be a
bag.
show me type thing, but I mean, looking at some of Tyone's today, that thing could be a weapon he actually uses as an out pitch. So I think it was good to see him use it today.
Awesome. Eddie, happy birthday, man. Bernie says happy birthday as well. Thanks so much for jumping on.
No problem.
All right, we'll see you. All right. Let's see if we can get this guy to turn on his video. He's beautiful. His name is Will. Are you there with us?
Yeah, what's going on? I just got back to the Airbnb. How about that suite?
You're not going to show your face 2 days in a row? We don't get to see that beautiful face?
Oh, hold on. Oh, you know how
Oh,
it is.
there we go. Did you get sunburn out there, brother?
Oh, hell yes, I did. I sat next to the same guy we sat next to last night, so it was a good time.
Oh, there you go. Good. Do you have any perspectives that you want to share from those seats again?
Yeah, how about Nate Pearson with the 1-2-3?
Let's go.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, no kidding, right? We finally got some velo in the bullpen, and he actually finally threw strikes and wasn't a nervous inning. So I'm gonna let you guys do your thing. I just want to come in and say hello. Happy birthday, by the way, Eddie. Good sweet bud.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. We appreciate you. All right, Alex. So Padres coming in tomorrow, man. The very first game. Well, I'll get you the probables as I bring that up. I know it's Shota, but we need to see who he's pitching against. But like you said, no Cease, and I believe no King. So what are you looking forward to in this series?
I want to see if the Cubs offense can keep this rolling, because if they, and as I said earlier, they were really good against two really, really good pitchers that the A's have. So, and the Padres rotation is a heck of a lot deeper than the A's, but I want to see if the offense can continue. And I'm also curious to see how Wrigley Field plays, because I feel like we've talked about weather conditions there. And I looked at the forecast before we started. It looks like rain, more likely Saturday, but Friday is going to be cold. Saturday is going to be cold and rain. Sunday looks like there's a chance of rain. So I am curious to see how that works. I think pitching-wise, that'll really help out Shota, obviously, as that's been a talking point all offseason as well. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how the pitching holds up against a really deep and talented Padres lineup. I mean, even today I had them on a second screen while I was watching the Cubs, and they were still dominating Cleveland. That's a good ball team too. So I'm curious to see that, and I'm also curious to see how the relievers pitch in weather that's advantageous to them. Let's see if maybe that boosts some confidence out there as well.
7-0. They've done it against the Braves, sweeping the first series of the year in 4 games. Then they did it against the Guardians, like you alluded to, 3 games against them. We've got Randy Vasquez versus Shota Imanaga on Friday. On Saturday, Nick Pivetta versus Matthew Boyd. And then you have Hart, I don't know much about him, against Ben Brown on Sunday. And that is the next time that you will see us bringing you a post-game show. Thank you for jumping on. And especially if you were here with us the last 3 games, This has been fun. Starting off the post-game show for the series, for the year. Winning 3 of 4. We should have won 4 of 4. God dang it, but that's okay. And I'm going to be really looking forward to bringing a series win from Wrigley on Sunday. What do you say, Alex?
Absolutely. Let's fly some W's. Let's sing some songs. Let's get after it. I'm ready.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for the callers that jumped in. Alex and I are going to go put our arms on ice. We'll see you later, Setup Nation.